Hello everyone, today I will continue sharing with you the story of the single mother, Diệu Hân. Wishing you all an enjoyable time watching the video. On the path of escape, Hân wandered aimlessly, her legs weary but her mind swept away by scattered fragments of memory. She had no idea where she was truly heading, relying only on the faint familiarity of her surroundings. An ancient tree standing silently by the roadside, a narrow alley strewn with dry leaves, an old wall mottled with moss. All felt like faint traces her memory was pulling her back toward. With every step, Hân's heart ached, trembling with unease. Images of her abusive husband, the shouting, and the sounds of violent clashes flashed across her mind. The more she remembered, the more she felt dragged backward into the past. Yet her feet refused to stop, as if fear itself was her only guide. Dusk began to fall, the faint golden glow of distant houses casting her small fragile shadow. Hân muttered under her breath, "I have to go home, cook dinner. If he comes back and there's no food, he'll be angry." Her broken voice merged with the chorus of night insects, making the darkness even more oppressive. She had not yet reached her destination, only kept walking, torn between the terror of memory and the emptiness of the present. The road stretched endlessly ahead, and all she could do was cling to vague recollections that led her back to the old house, the place that was both her nightmare and her only anchor. Following a narrow path, she eventually arrived at the bank of a familiar stream. The water shimmered under the moonlight, babbling as if whispering to her. Hân stood still for a long while, hollow eyes fixed on the current before whispering, "Home is across there. I have to go back." She cautiously stepped into the water, her trembling feet meeting the icy current. At that very moment, a voice called out from behind, "Hân, is that you?" Startled, Hân turned around. Before her stood a middle-aged woman, vaguely familiar, though her clouded memory could not recall a name. The woman came closer, her eyes filled with both relief and worry. "It's me. In? Where have you been? Why are you like this? You look so different." Hân blinked, stepped back, her face full of confusion. Like a lost child, she mumbled, "My house is across the stream. I have to cook or he'll be angry." Yin froze, her heart tightening at the sight. She hurried forward, gripping Hân's hand, her voice trembling. You really don't remember me? What happened to you, Hân?" But Hân only lowered her head, lips quivering, repeating the same meaningless words. Her lifeless eyes and frail appearance filled Yin with helpless fear. When Hân lifted her foot to step further into the stream, water already lapping at her ankles, Yin panicked and grabbed her tightly. "No, An. Not at night. The water is strong and dangerous. You'll get hurt." Yin tried to keep her voice calm, though her heart was racing. Hân resisted faintly, her eyes hazy, voice faltering. I have to go. My house is across there. If not, he'll be angry." Hearing this, Yin's heart broke. She knew Hân was trapped in her old memories, memories of pain she understood all too well. Yin held her hand firmly, looking straight into her vacant eyes, speaking slowly and firmly. "Hân, listen to me. That place is no longer your home. You're tired, you're lost. Come with me, rest for a while, then we'll figure things out." "Okay." Hân shook her head, her lips trembling, but her gaze wavered. The freezing water held her back, while Yin's warm hand gave her the faintest sense of safety. Gently, Yin placed her shawl over Hân's shoulders and guided her away from the stream. Her voice softened, full of patience. "Come to my house first. It's safe there, warm food and a soft bed. Don't worry, no one will be angry with you." Hân stayed silent, no longer resisting. Her hollow eyes slowly lowered, like a child surrendering to be led away. Yin wrapped her arms around Hân's frail shoulders, walking with her while vowing silently, whatever had happened, she would uncover the truth, and never let Hân face the darkness of her memories alone again. Under the blazing midday sun, Hân dragged her feet along the dirt path by the stream. The sunlight poured down, its harsh glare making her vacant eyes grow even more clouded. The clear stream sparkled, rippling away as though mocking the emptiness inside her. Just as she stepped onto the sandy bank, about to wade across in search of the house on the other side, a voice called out, "Hun, is that you?" Startled, Han turned around. A middle-aged woman, vaguely familiar, stood beneath a tree waving. It was Yin, an old neighbor. Yin hurried over, scanning Han from head to toe. Seeing her gaunt face and lifeless eyes, she couldn't help but worry. "Oh my God, where have you been to end up like this? You look so different. Don't you remember me?" "It's Yin." Han blinked several times, confused. The name Yin sparked no memory in her fractured mind. She only mumbled, voice trembling like someone lost. My house is across the stream. I have to go home, cook dinner, or he'll be angry." Hearing that, Yin's heart ached. She immediately understood the old scars of Han's violent marriage still haunted her deeply. Yin gently moved closer, took her arm and tried to soothe her. "Listen, there's nothing good for you across there anymore. You're exhausted, wandering like this won't help. Come to my house, rest a bit, have a meal, then we'll see. Don't worry, no one will be angry with you." Han shook her head, eyes darting anxiously, still fixed on the water ahead. But the sincerity in Yin's voice made her falter. Even though her memory was blank, something in Yin's gaze gave her a fragile sense of safety. They lingered by the stream for quite some time. Yin patiently asked questions while Han kept repeating only one line. "My house is across the stream." At last, Yin sighed, realizing she couldn't force anything. She could only guide her step by step. She coaxed softly, "Come on, just come with me to rest a while. If you want, this afternoon I'll take you for a walk around. Maybe then you'll remember something." Han hesitated, eyes vacant, then nodded faintly. Yin held her hand and led her away from the stream, her heart brimming with resolve. No matter what, she would uncover the reason behind Han's state and pull her out of the shadows of the past. They walked along the village road, bamboo groves rustling in the breeze, rooftops peeking out in the distance. Villagers glanced out, whispering in surprise, but Yin only gave a small nod, signaling them not to disturb Han further. On the way, Yin tried to strike up a conversation, her voice gentle, coaxing. "Han, do you remember this is the road we used to take to the market? You always bought mung beans to cook sweet soup. I can still recall the fragrance." Han looked around blankly, shaking her head, whispering faintly. "Mung beans, what are they?" I don't remember." Yin bit her lip, her chest tightening. She pointed to a red-tiled house by the road. "That's Mrs. Tu's house, do you remember? You and little Tom often played there. Do you remember anything about your child?" At the word child, Han froze. Her eyes widened, trembling faintly, then clouded over again. She clutched her head, shaking furiously, stammering, "No. I don't know, don't ask. I'm scared." Quickly, Yin wrapped her arms around her, patting her back gently as if comforting a child. Her voice cracked. It's okay. Slowly you'll remember. Don't be afraid, I'm here with you." Han pressed into Yin's shoulder, her whole body trembling. In her hollow eyes, panic lingered, while memories slipped away like fragments she could never grasp. Yin knew the road to bringing Han back to herself would be long and painful, but she had already decided. No matter how hard it was, she would never leave Han alone in that darkness. Later, in Yin's small house, daylight streamed through the window, falling onto the worn brick floor. Han sat on a bamboo chair by the wooden table, fiddling with the hem of her shirt, eyes downcast as though her soul had gone missing. On the table, a teapot still steamed, but neither touched a drop. Yin tried to keep the conversation going, asking about this and that, recalling old stories from the village. But Han only shook her head, sometimes blank, sometimes dazed, retaining nothing in her memory. At moments her eyes flickered with vague fear, then sank back into emptiness. All of a sudden Han looked up, her voice urgent yet trembling. I have to go home. My husband is waiting. I must cook dinner, or he'll be angry. Yin froze. Those words cut into her heart like a knife. She knew well Han had divorced long ago, had once escaped that suffocating, violent life. Yet now before her, Han truly believed she was still the wife scrambling to serve the man who had caused her so much pain. Han, listen to me. Yin grasped her frail, trembling hands. You don't live with him anymore. You're divorced, remember? You're free now. Han's eyes widened, bewildered as though she had just heard something impossibly foreign. She shook her head again and again, tears streaming down her face. No, that's not true. He's still waiting for me. I have to go. I have to cook. Inside the small house, the air grew heavy with silence. Han kept insisting on leaving, her voice firm yet trembling. I have to go, my husband is waiting. I can't stay here long. Hearing this, Yin felt her throat tighten. Forcing herself to remain calm, she gently coaxed. I understand, but rushing off like this isn't good. Sit and rest a while, then I'll take you, okay? When Han continued to shake her head, Yin reluctantly stood up and guided her toward the door. The midday sun poured down on the yard, tall areca palms casting shadows, the sound of roosters crowing faintly in the distance. Just as Han stepped onto the porch, her stomach suddenly growled loudly. She froze, hands clutching her belly, cheeks flushing red with embarrassment. After a long pause, she spoke softly, not daring to look Yin in the eye. Do you have anything to eat? I'm so hungry. That moment softened Yin's heart. Surprised yet quietly relieved, she felt grateful that at least this simple human need had pulled Han back, if only a little. She hurried into the kitchen, rummaged around, and brought out a stale piece of bread from the morning, setting it gently before Han. Here, eat this. It's a bit dry, but it'll ease your hunger. Han accepted it with trembling hands, as though afraid she might drop it. She took a small bite, chewing slowly, eyes downcast, shy like a child who had done something wrong. The bread was tough, flavorless, yet each mouthful soothed the emptiness gnawing at her stomach. Yin sat quietly beside her, observing. She saw the unease in Han's eyes, every hesitant movement, as if she feared reproach from others. With each bite, Han's thin shoulders seemed to relax, her breathing steadier. A deep ache swelled in Yin's chest. The woman before her had once been lively and cheerful, yet now all that remained was a vague, timid figure full of fear. Leaning closer, Yin placed a hand on her shoulder, whispering gently like a promise. It's okay, finish your food, then stay here with me a while. There's no rush, and no one will be angry with you. For a fleeting moment, Han's eyes were still distant, but the faint nod she gave was enough for Yin to believe she had managed to hold her back, if only by one step, from falling deeper into the loop of old fears. Han ate half the bread, then set the rest on the table. Her hands twisted together tightly, her gaze unfocused, wandering. Just as Yin was about to say more, hoping to keep her seated longer, Han slowly rose to her feet. Thank you, but I have to go. My house. It's across the stream. He's still waiting for me to cook. Her voice was small yet steady, trembling but carrying a strange certainty. Alarmed, Yin leapt up and blocked her way. Han, please listen to me. There's no one waiting for you there anymore. Don't go back. You'll only suffer again. But Han shook her head, strangely resolute. Her once empty eyes now flickered with a hardened determination, as if an invisible thread was pulling her toward the old house. Without hesitation, she turned, striding quickly out the door. Her frail, slender figure carried an unyielding will that could not be stopped. Yin stood frozen, her feet rooted to the floor. In that moment, she realized that words were useless. To push harder would only worsen Han's panic and pain. Clenching her fists, she quickly grabbed her coat and rushed after her. The village road shimmered under the harsh sunlight. Light poured from above, illuminating Han's unsteady figure heading toward the stream. Each hurried step seemed pulled by the force of memory, heedless of the present. Villagers glanced over, whispering in surprise, but none dared speak up. Han pressed on, lips moving in a murmured chant to herself. I have to go, he's waiting. I must cook dinner. Keeping just a short distance behind, Yen followed. Her heart pounded with fear and helplessness. The woman she once knew had become an empty shell, trapped by memories that refused to let go. Yet Yen's resolve surged all the stronger. No matter what happens, I will walk with her. I won't let her face this nightmare alone. If she collapses, I will be there to catch her. The midday wind rustled through the bamboo groves, their whisper echoing the tension in the air. Ahead, the stream shimmered in the sunlight, water trickling ceaselessly, and beyond it lay the path to the old house, heavy with shadows of the past. Han took trembling steps toward the gate of her old house. The iron bars were rusted, patches of paint peeling off, standing there like a silent witness to the years gone by. The wall was covered with moss, vines hanging down, familiar yet strange. Han froze, eyes wide, breath quickening. She reached out to touch the cold metal. For a fleeting moment, hazy images rushed in like mist. Harsh shouts, the crash of things breaking, the muffled sobs of a woman. Memories flickered like a faulty light bulb, unclear yet strong enough to send shivers through her body. This is my house," Han whispered, her voice trembling with both fear and confusion. "I remember. Someone was here." Beside her, Yen quietly observed every change in Han's face. In those cloudy eyes, she saw sparks of memory, but also deep-rooted fear. Gently, she placed a hand on Han's shoulder, her voice low and steady. "Yes, this used to be your home, but you don't need to be afraid anymore. It's all over. You're safe now, I'm here with you." Hearing that, Han turned to look at Yen, her tearful eyes clinging to fragments of memory. Then she grabbed her head, shaking hard. "No, I can't remember clearly, just the shouting. I'm so scared." The old gate creaked in the wind, echoing the darkness of the past. Han stood there, caught between the present and the past, wanting to step inside yet desperate to flee. Yen's steady gaze promised she would not let Han face this alone. Suddenly, the fragmented shouts and crashes roared back into her mind like hammer blows. Overwhelmed, Han clutched her head, collapsing in fear. "Ah, my head, it hurts so much," she groaned, trembling, gasping for breath as broken images pierced her thoughts. A violent hand striking, a man's angry voice, her own sobs. Alarmed, Yen rushed forward, kneeling and wrapping her arms around Han's shoulders. Her voice shook with worry. "Han, stay calm, it's okay. Breathe slowly, I'm right here. Don't be afraid." Han buried her head against Yen's shoulder, body shaking uncontrollably, whispering like a terrified child. Don't hit me. I'm sorry. I'll cook right now." Tears welled in Yen's eyes as she tightened her embrace. "No one will hurt you again, Han. You're free now. I'm here, I won't let anyone harm you." In the empty courtyard with the wind whistling through the leaves, Yen held her tightly, the only anchor against the storm of memories tearing her apart. Slowly, Han's ragged breathing eased, though her frail shoulders still trembled. The warmth of Yen's presence stood like a wall shielding her from the torment inside. Yen gently stroked her back, whispering as if to a child. "It's all right now. Everything's over. Rest, regain your strength, then your memories will return. Staying here will only bring you more pain." Though tears still lingered in her red eyes, Han slowly lowered her gaze, heavy with fatigue. Yen lifted her chin, meeting her eyes, and spoke each word firmly. "Come back with me. My house is safe, there's food, a bed. Take your time. You don't have to force yourself anymore. You have me now." Silence stretched. In her tangled mind, the phrase "my house is across the stream" still echoed, pulling at her. But her body was exhausted, her head throbbing. At last, she bit her lip and nodded faintly, like a child reluctantly obeying. "All right. I'll go with you." she whispered, voice shaky but yielding. Relieved, Yen gripped her frail hand tightly, helping her to her feet. As they turned away, the rusty gate groaned in the wind, like a long sigh from a past unwilling to let go. The village road stretched out under the pale evening sun. Birds called to one another. Children's laughter echoed in the distance, a stark contrast to the heavy silence between them. Han leaned against Yen's shoulder, eyes half closed, her hair falling over her face. Each step was unsteady, but Yen's firm grip was the only anchor holding her up. Walking steadily by her side, Yen's mind churned. Could Han ever escape these shadows? Could brighter memories return? Or would the darkness imprison her forever? Yet above all, her resolve held strong. No matter how long or hard the road, she would not let go. And so, beneath the orange light of dusk, two figures, one frail, one resolute, walked slowly toward Yen's small home. Behind them, the old house creaked in the wind, haunted by shadows of the past. But Yen was determined. Han would never have to face that darkness alone again.
Xin chào mọi người, lại là mình đây, rất vui được gặp lại mọi người trong video của mình. Cảm ơn mọi người đã xem hết video ngày hôm nay của mình nha. Hy vọng rằng những video của mình sẽ mang đến niềm vui cho mọi người, để một ngày mới của mọi người bắt đầu nhiều năng lượng hơn và có nhiều niềm vui hơn. Hiện tại thì kênh của mình đang viết về câu chuyện của những người mẹ đơn thân sinh sống ở Việt Nam, những khó khăn và gian khổ mà họ phải chịu đựng, và những người bạn mà họ gặp được trong cuộc sống đã giúp họ vượt qua những khó khăn. Những video của mình thì thường được phát hành vào lúc 7 giờ tối tại khung giờ Việt Nam. Mọi người nhớ chú ý đón xem nha. Hy vọng rằng mọi người sẽ yêu thích những video của mình và chia sẻ nhiều hơn để kênh của mình ngày càng phát triển, mang đến những video hay hơn cho mọi người. Cảm ơn mọi người đã xem hết video của mình. Rất mong được sự ủng hộ của mọi người nha. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại mọi người.